Hey everybody, welcome to A Little Girl's Guide to the Zombie Apocalypse, the show where I, Chris, and
me, Presley,
review scary movies. So this is our inaugural episode, which we're excited about. So we're a little low-tech today, but the production value will of course increase. Presley, how excited are you?
I'm super excited. This seems so fun.
So a little background. Presley is my daughter, of course. And from the age of 3, she and I have enjoyed watching scary movies together. And we thought we would share our love of these films with you. Think that's a good idea?
Yeah.
I think it's a great idea. So tonight, Presley, what movie are we going to review?
The Descendant. The Descendant?
The Descent, a 2006 cult hit. So, Presley.
Yes?
You've seen a lot of different scary movies over time.
Yes, I have.
How would you rate this one?
This one was very scary, and it was super exciting. So I'd probably rate this about a 4 out of 5.
A 4 out of 5. That seems pretty scary. Now, let's talk a little bit about the film. I can tell you that when it comes to movies, and a little bit of a spoiler alert in case you didn't know, I'll give you a chance to tune out, but I would classify this as a monster movie. Would you say the same thing?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's a monster movie.
And if you are a fan of monster movies as I am, one of the things that I appreciated about this film was the use of what's called practical effects, meaning that they didn't use any CGI for the monsters themselves. It was literally people in makeup. They did a fantastic job. And in the scene where we first see one of the monsters, Presley, tell them about that.
Well, when they were in the cave where they saw the monster, while they were looking around and they were stuck, they're like, how are we gonna get out of here? And so this girl goes wandering off. Then she thinks she sees a man, and so she goes back to the group and she's like, hey, I just saw somebody, and they're like, that's impossible. But she didn't really see a person. Monsters should look like people, but they're very scary, and they look like people, so they're kind of like people, but they're not.
Absolutely. So let's start everyone from the beginning. So here we have a story, an adventure story about a group of gals who are out for adventure. So what do they decide to do to seek some adventure? Well,
one of the friends says that they're going to go investigate a cave, and so they're like, okay, and she doesn't tell them that nobody's investigating this cave. She says people have gone in it, but she wanted them to discover it and then have it a big surprise. That backfires.
So let me ask you, Presley, is cave exploring something you would ever do?
No.
You wouldn't do it?
Yeah, I've been in a cave before and I did not like it.
Fair enough. Okay, so these gals go down in the hole. They're exploring this cave. When do things start to go wrong for these ladies?
Well, first of all, they exploring things and they're crawling through this tiny crevice, and then the cave starts to fall apart. And one of them almost dies from collapsation.
Rock slide.
Yeah, from a rock.
Earthquake. Something's gone wrong.
Yeah, and so now they're trapped. They can knock it out.
Let me tell you, Presley, I think one of the scariest things about this movie is everybody's fear of being trapped. Everybody's fear of being stuck in the dark. Are you afraid of the dark? Are you one of those people?
Yeah, one time I was in my bedroom and it was pitch black and I thought the walls were moving in. It was real weird.
This is what I'm saying. It's constant universal fear, just like these ladies where the walls were literally moving in. So, they're stuck in this cave. They're trying to get out. What happens next?
Well, one of the girls thinks she saw something, so they let a flare. And they actually see these cave paintings, and they see another way out. So they're getting really hopeful. OMG, there's another way out.
We can get out. There's hope.
Yes, there is. But it's really difficult because you have to go from an army of monsters that want to eat you.
And all of a sudden, they're making their way out, they're making headway, and disaster strikes. What happens?
Well, they get stuck because they have to cross this really deep ditch. It just bottom down. It's like a bottomless pit. And so all their gear they lost because when the rock slide happened. So they only had a few gear that was on them. So one of the girls was climbing on the rocks and they sticking these things in the ceiling so they could climb across.
Yep.
So they could climb across it, and the girl almost fell off.
So they get across. Again, they are knocking out these obstacles. We are rooting for them. We want them. We want good things to happen. And then somebody gets a little reckless. And what happens?
I can't remember. Oh, yeah. So a girl thinks she sees daylight. She's like, yes, daylight. But then she was not looking where to go, and she falls in this hole, and she really injures her leg, and her bone's sticking out.
Gross.
Yeah, it is super. Ugh.
Gross.
Yeah, and so the girls climb down there, and they're trying to fix her leg because one of them is a doctor.
Beth, I think it's Beth. Beth?
I think her name's Beth.
Might have been Beth.
Yes. And so they're trying
Hell of an actress, Beth.
Yeah. So they're trying to push back in the bone, and they're like putting things in her mouth, like bind on this, know how much it hurts.
It did not look fun.
It did not.
But that actress was a little annoying, so I wasn't too sad to see her go.
Yeah. It was a very annoying actress.
Okay, so now what do? Now all of a sudden, you got this gal you got to trudge around, and things are just going south quickly. So, Presley, they had one piece of equipment with them that allowed them to do what?
Oh, yes. One of them brought a camera for filming. And since it was super dark, they went in there, and they're in this, another place, and they're like, it's so dark. And so one of them uses the camera that they have, and they see bones. Lots of animal bones. Like piles and piles from the eye can see. And they also see human bones.
Human bones.
Yeah, and so there's blood puddles and everything. And then they hear this thing. Then they see the monsters coming out. There's a ton of them, and they're all
Turns out.
It's like where they eat. It is like their cafeteria. It is ugly.
Not good. We're in the dumpster.
Yeah, they're circling around them. And so they're like, OMG, this is scary.
Not good. So the fight's on. Here come these creatures. They're chasing the ladies. They're catching some. Bad things are going down.
Yeah, and one of them, I think one of them caught. And so basically we're all running in different directions, trying to escape. And so this one person is fighting him off, and then another person comes up behind her. She thinks it's a monster, and she uses this really pointy thing that she has, and accidentally kills her friend. I
think it was a feather necklace.
Yeah, she had a feather
necklaces.
Yeah, she had a feathered necklace on her. That turns out one of the girls was married, but she got in a car accident that killed her husband and her daughter. And it turns out her husband was cheating on her, and that's how she got the necklace. Yeah.
Problems without problems. I mean, here she is, in the fight for her life, just coming out of a story of personal tragedy. And then you find this out. You get this news that Juno, her name was Juno, was no good. And her husband and Juno
cheating on her. That was rude.
It was not good. It was not good. But bygones be bygones. We gotta survive. So what do?
So the person that killed that person, the girl who was cheating on another girl, so she dies, but the girl who killed her, so then the person that, her husband who died, they have to team up to try to get out of the cave. But then she's like, I'm not going to trust you because that person that you tried to kill on accident, she told me not to trust you. And then she stabs her in the leg. Yeah, and then because they're having this giant battle scene, and so other monsters are coming, and she's just like, this is revenge. And she's like, ow, what'd you do that for? And then she runs off, and she survives it. The girl whose husband was cheating on her, she survives. She gets out of that second hole. So that girl has cuckoo dreams. So her guilt is literally haunting her.
She's had a tough time.
Yeah, she's getting in her car, and then she turns, and then she sees her friend that she, Juno. Killed, gave to the monsters. She thinks she sees her, and she's she's just screaming.
It's just like that. Okay, so she gets away at the end of the movie. So let me ask you a couple of rapid fire questions. Grossest part.
Grossest part is probably when they're getting across this ditch from the monsters, and then a monster comes up behind this person and starts eating her guts from her stomach. I think that was one of the grossest parts.
Presley, would you taste the guts?
No.
You would not?
No, I'm not a cannonball. No way. I'm not going to eat a gut.
Because we don't understand the cannonball reference.
I'm not going to eat a person.
What about the eye gouge scene?
Oh, yeah. One of the people, when they're fighting, they were taking out a monster's eyeball. We're killing them by pushing out their eyeballs. It was disgusting. And blood was coming out the side of them.
Okay, so Presley, it's you. You're in the cave. It's with your friends. Of your friends, Ella, Mary, Kinsey, who survives?
I really hope all of them survive because I'm really close to all of them. They're like my number one BFFs.
Whoa. Let's stay out of caves.
Yeah.
Okay.
Out of caves.
So, Presley, would you recommend this movie overall?
Yes, I would recommend this movie.
Well made, well shot, well balanced. Old school filmmaking at its finest. Mm-hmm. It was a sleeper hit, if those recall, back in 2006. Mm-hmm. In an era where we desperately needed a new form of storytelling. Back to the basics is kind of, if you enjoy that type of thing. Great acting, great cinematography, solid story. I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, me too.
So this has been our first movie review of The Descent, 2006. We definitely say check it out. We're excited to bring you more films. Presley, why don't you just tell them a couple of the films that we've enjoyed recently?
Well, we have enjoyed The Ring that we have recently watched.
The Ring.
Mm-hmm. That one is a good one, which we're probably going to review.
Going to have to review it. It is a classic. I think that was 2002, 2003. We'll figure it out. Yeah. Let's see. We saw House on Haunted Hill recently.
Oh, yeah.
House on Tremors is a classic for us.
Yeah, House on Haunted Hill isn't really a house. It's more of an asylum.
Basically an asylum.
Yeah, so it's not really a house, which I don't really get.
We'll get into it. You guys should tune in and you'll get into it too. Now, again, feel free to shoot us an email. Give us some comments. Let us know what you'd like us to review. Believe me, we're excited. But this was the first show, episode 1 of The Little Girl's Guide to the Zombie Apocalypse. Stay spooky, people.